Well, in today's video, this is going to be one of the most important trainings that I have filmed to date, if not the most important breakdown of what it actually looks like to make six figures a year with coaching. And so, in our world specifically, we coach teenagers and parents, and that's most likely why you're here. You are already working with teenagers and parents, or you're looking to head into this space. But even if you work with adults, this certainly has a place and it will also help you as well. So I kind of assume you already know who I am. I am Lanita Abuchbek. I'm the founder of Teen Coach Academy, and I have trained teen coaches for quite some time now to start and scale a thriving teen coaching business. Doesn't matter the age of the teens, doesn't matter the niche, whether you're working only with parents or ideally parents and teens, but it certainly will vary across the board and vary depending on the niche. Athletics, sports, college prep, mindset, confidence, tutoring, academics, speaking, entrepreneurship. Goodness me, we've helped teen coaches from all walks of life, helping teenagers from all ages. And so we even help preteens. So it definitely can take you so far. But essentially, the philosophy around building your business is quite consistent across the board. So I really want you to stay open with me today and not come in with stories around it's not going to work for my niche, it's not going to work for my ages. Like my model's different. I've helped so many coaches from so many different niches. We just happen to help teenagers most of the time inside Teen Coach Academy. So I'm going to share with you a snippet of a real life, real breakdown of a conversation I had with one of my one-to-one consulting clients inside Teen Coach Academy. Shout out to Dr. Carla. You've probably met her already somewhere on our platforms before, but she is our next six-figure teen coach in the making. She has built a six-figure model. It is ready to somewhat scale. And I really want to give you an honest breakdown of where Carla is at in our world, because a lot of people, when they hear six-figure case studies, they essentially just hear six figures and it just goes over their head. And there's just so much to factor in here when it comes to helping coaches like yourself make six figures a year. The coaching industry is hurting at the moment because of so many misleading case studies online. Why do I know that? Is because I am a product of that. I am a six-figure case study in a few coaches' masterminds, previous coaches and even existing coaches of mine. I take a lot of pride on being a great student in people's mastermind groups, but I'm mindful of how they portray my story. And there's so many things that they don't mention when they market me as a six or seven figure coach online. And so, because I've been, I guess, on the receiving end of that, and I know better, and I know what's really going on behind the scenes. A lot of coaches, maybe like yourself, don't see what it actually takes to build a consistent six-figure revenue with team coaching. I'm quite fortunate now, after a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, that I make multiple six figures a year in profit, take home profit, but that is not where I started. I've helped coaches make six figures, but that's also where they did not start. And there's a lot to factor in around. It's one thing to make six figures with teen coaching over an X amount of months, but it's another thing to actually have a sustainable, consistent six-figure revenue with teen coaching per year. See, a seven-figure coach is not someone that's made seven figures in their lifetime as a coach. A seven-figure coach is a coach that makes consistent seven figures a year in coaching. The same rule applies with six-figure coaches. A six-figure coach is not someone that's made six figures over 5 years. You get me? And that's very misleading, which a lot of you have probably been on the receiving end, including myself. A six-figure coach is someone that makes consistent six figures a year inside their business. And this is once again what's hurting our coaching industry today. The stories, and it's been so misleading. And so I'm mindful every time I'm sharing stories like this, I want to be as realistic, as conservative, and as transparent as possible. And really just showing you the real breakdown of what you're actually getting yourself into, and manage your expectations around making revenue in a career with teen coaching. And you're going to love it today. So over the next few minutes, We're going to head into a mini conversation with Carla. I take her through essentially her prices, how to refine her model. Carla's been with me for 2 years. And so, even though she's a veteran in the space, she is still quite early in her business development and professional development as a business owner. And so, this is not a surprise for most of my coaches where they don't make six figures in the first year or two. It could happen, and it's happened for some, but majority it has not happened for them because that's the reality of our market. And so with Carla, she's incredible at what she does. She's been finding her feet in the coaching industry. And it was only probably just over 6 months ago where she actually fully exited her teaching job as an assistant principal. And so based on what she's actually achieved while transitioning out is so remarkable. And you're going to see that over the next few minutes as well. So let's get into that conversation and I'll check back in with you towards the end. And this is where it just gets really easy, is that parents pay you $125 a week for 30 minutes of your time, and this is where you can scale. So let's play with the math. 15 parents across 1 year pay you $125 a week. Doesn't matter the timeline. It's 4 weeks, it's 6 months, they stay with you for a year, but let's just say, assuming they stay with you for a year, times 52 weeks, you're banking 97,500 per year. That's only 15 families, Carla. You've worked with obviously 30 kids in a class before. You're halving your delivery on what you used to do as a teacher.
So, I mean, this seems so much more simple than what I was doing, like structuring before.
So discipline wise, moving forward, all you need to worry about now is know your capacity. I just did 15 parents as an example.
But that's a great example because frankly, that's easier when I'm selling too. I'll be like, is 3 months or 6 months work for you better? And that's when if they pick three, I'm not too stressed about it because I know after three, like there's way more to do in like they can to re-sign. Like
Yeah, this is my favorite model because this is 30 minutes of your time and it's
mhm.
$125. Parents have that money and it doesn't matter the timeline. You start them on 3 and just know, like, what do you prefer? Now for me, Carla, what I do on purpose, so you go from pro bono, and I spoke about this today in Slack, you get them on the 12-week cycle, then you might want to resign them again. And then depending on where they're at, you might want to offer a 12-month. But it's only $125 a week. So they only just have to stay on the same thing, stay with you for longer. It's not a different offer or anything like that. Just scale this and get more parents at one time paying you that. So if we just double that for a moment and you can fit 30 at 125 a week times 52 weeks, what is that? Times 52? That's
Like 200.
100,000 a
Why is
year.
this so simple right now? This is
Yeah.
easy. Like
Now, once again, do you need 190K a year? Probably not, but it's just good to
I
know
would like it.
that one, you need to know your weekly rate, which you now know it's $125 per week because it's a 30-minute call. Doesn't matter if they see you weekly or not, they're paying for that. Two, know your capacity. You probably don't need 30 clients. So just for the first goalpost is 15 parents. And then three, keep them longer. Just re-sign. Keep re-signing at 125 a week. You got to be, and you are. People who suffer here, they're not good at what they do. They don't have a retention model because they don't keep their clients. They suck. This is why most coaches don't touch one-to-one because most people realize they're actually not that good. And you need to be good at what you do to re-sign clients or they just keep leaving you. So you can't hide in this model and you're really good. This is an advantage you have that over a lot of coaches. That's why you've actually done really well with the timing you've had in your coaching business. Most coaches don't know how to coach one-to-one, or they don't have the confidence to back themselves. So coming back here for a second, year one in business, how much did you make roughly? Can you remember the number?
November, I made like 18 grand.
Mm-hmm. August.
So Honestly, I don't know. I would have to go look up another sheet. I'm not gonna, but let's just say
Probably made
I
20.
made 30 grand or something. Yeah, 25, fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, well, that's good because that meets our industry average. I'm filming a video for everyone very soon to go through the 5-year plan. You are already above industry average. Year two, what are you on
Okay.
track so far? What is that number?
Even this is gonna be adjusted a little, but I'm on like I'm at like 50 now.
Yeah, that's so good. Yep. So you're well past because year two, I then go from 25,000 to 50,000. We have 6 months left. So you're probably, just to stay conservative, if we could end this year on 75,000, that's going to be well above industry average. So you're 25K away. How does that sound for you so far? The next 6 months?
That sounds like it's too easy. Like I'm gonna make that in before the end of the year, way before the end of the year.
Yeah, so as a coach, in terms of timeline purposes, play with the industry averages. Don't try to go too fast, too quick, because one, you're putting unnecessary pressure on yourself. Two, it's actually not the norm. And three, you've got time. Like you've still got year three, year four, and all the good stuff. That your 6-figure years will kick in at year four and beyond. I mean, like consistently. So right
Oh
now,
well.
all you can control is what you have at your disposal. You're 25K away from making 75K this year. In a second year in business, Carla, that is not normal. That is not normal. Most coaches don't make that. Two, they don't realize this is the reality. And it's because I just haven't taught it this way before. The norm here is you're not going to be getting these numbers until year three, year four, when you prepare for that sustainability. And so most coaches don't realize that it's not them. It's not a problem with you or whether you suck or not. It's just you need more time to build the sustainable business. So yeah, we've had coaches who just give up too quickly, and it's good lessons for me to just get louder with this. So I'd love some feedback on how this is helping you too, because this is the reality in the industry. And
I
it's
don't
just
know.
it's just understanding your model. Like we don't work much, but we make good money for what we work at. And so your delivery model is anywhere between 10 to 15 hours a week, sometimes less. So we're mindful of what you really want, which is a lean solo business with very high
Mhm.
profit. You've learned about your buying habits, which just needs refinement, which is great
Mhm.
awareness. And then moving forward, you're preparing for that 6-figure year. The 6-figure year can happen next year for you, Carla, because the next 6 months,
It,
you're not only,
I want it to happen this year,
and
Lenita.
it
I
can,
might
look,
even,
could.
I might.
It could, because
Yeah.
what will happen is the next 6 months, we want to bank 25K. Let's hit that goalpost, right? That's way more realistic than going for like 6 figures, obviously. Well, this is where you need to know how you play. Like, I don't put unnecessary pressure when I know it's not going to do me any favors. So I'm just saying the next six
All
months,
right.
16 pro bonos, re-sign 50% of them. So 16 divided by six. That's 2 or 3 pro bonos each month for the next 6 months. That's easy.
That's it.
What we're doing is we're not only banking 25K, we're setting you up for 2026 to start on a 6-figure model. So let me map that out. Would that be valuable?
I just have to listen to you and shut up. Yeah, go ahead. Because
Much fun with you. It's the best. Okay, so the next 6 months, let's say we're just going to play with some math here. 16 pro bonos, and we re-sign eight. Eight get re-signed.
this is the next 6 months. Okay.
It can be 3 months. It's up to you. I'm just kind of playing like this is the metric. You choose the timeline. What's realistic for you? 3 months or 6 months?
3.
Okay, cool. So we go 3 month. 3 month.
I already got it in my brain that I'm making 100K and I'm at 50, so I don't care.
This is too good. Alrighty. So 3 month target. 8 times 125 a week. So you do this for the next 3 months, but you repeat it. So it's going to be 2 cycles. So by the end of the year, you'll have 16 clients at 125 per week. You're going to start 2026 on 16 clients.
Good, because I have 15 right now.
Okay, great. So 16 times $125 a week If these clients stay with you in the new year, you'll be on track for $104,000 per year in 2026. We're just preloading. We're not only going to hit your target for this year, but we want to preload next year. You want to start on 16 clients in the new year. We've
Okay.
got to keep them. If anyone exits, you need to make sure you fill those spots if they don't re-sign and all that good stuff. But that's your this is your model. Does that make sense? You don't need more than 16 clients at one time to have a six-figure year.
Okay. Because that's what I have right now, and I want more. My 16 clients don't even fill my 2 days.
Yeah, so you've got, see, for me,
I got space.
yeah, I have capacity for 30 clients. And
Same.
so
Yeah.
you can double this.
Easy.
You can be, yeah.
Yes.
This is where you start to, you're scaling yourself and you're scaling your time because you're halving your delivery. This is what most coaches don't do. We're doing 30
Yeah.
calls, or even if it's an hour, we still have capacity for 30 clients.
I don't need an hour. Oh my
But with kids, you only need 30 minutes a week. So coming back to like this timeline,
Mm-hmm.
you're well above industry average. And you have not even passed year two, Carla. Like, yes, you're a veteran in the space, but in terms of business, year two is nothing. But, it's a high income skill. So you're just moving your money that you're making from your business and then you're building wealth on the back end. Perspective, you're all heading into year three on a potential six-figure salary. We went to college and we studied for what, 4 years? How long was your degree? 4 or 5?
10. I have a doctorate. I have
Oh, you
two
have a
masters and
doctorate.
a
Okay.
I,
So,
I have a doctorate, two masters, and a freaking so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12.
and nice. So at what year in your studying journey did you start making an income as a teacher? It probably wasn't before year four.
After the first 4 years. Yeah, like I got a job after I graduated.
So
Year
you're
five. What is it? Year five? Is that what it is? Like after you graduate the next year,
correct.
like right away.
So you're not even halfway into a teen coaching career and you're about to start on a six-figure salary. When it came to teaching, you waited at least 4 years before you ever made either
Oh, 45. Yeah, 45K. Maybe I started
45,000,
at
right? You
the
had to wait
the when I
four
yeah.
years. You
Right, right.
4 years to make 45K. You're only having to wait 2 or 3 to make 100K or more.
Oh my God, you're so good at this.
And the thing is, the last 2 years or 1.5, the lessons you've been learning about yourself, more importantly, and you're scaling your emotional journey, you'll be able
Mm-hmm.
to hold yourself in the next two. And coming back to perspective, once again, even with some of the lessons you're learning or mistakes you would have made or splurging habits, you're still above industry average, well above it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Mm.
make any income in my first year as a coach. I was just trying to find myself and learn off the right person. So year one, you surpassed me substantially. So
Mm.
yeah, I'm glad it resonates with you because once again, you waited 4 years to make 45K. You have already passed that and you're not even past year two in the team coaching degree. So there you have it. You just saw a real-time breakdown with one of my sacred clients inside the academy. I spend a lot of time with my one-to-ones. It's where most of my energy goes, especially into this season of Teen Coach Academy. We are a high touch, high proximity model inside TCA, and you all directly work with me in a one-to-one capacity, given you opt for that particular level. And you just saw in real time what it looks like for Carla with a lot of refinement over the months, really cleaning up some loose ends and making her model very simple, lean, and easy. See, it's not just about selling a particular price point, it's about making it a low stress model for you. We spoke about in that conversation, we're not here for big companies, big teams, scale to the moon, scale yourself out. Like, we're here to help families work closely with teenagers and parents and make a high income skill at the same time that feeds our lifestyle, that contributes to our retirement, and we can reinvest that into some wealth vehicles behind the scenes. That's what most of us inside Teen Coach Academy are looking for. And my coaches and some of my one-to-ones that are looking to scale big companies, they don't come to me for that particular reason. They come to me to learn how to refine. their models because we're very lean and we make high profit. So even though our coaches that are scaling, their profit margins are so horrendous that they come to me for that reason to just get a little bit more efficiency under their belt in terms of how they're building their models, how to protect profit so they can reinvest that back into scaling their company with staff, systems, speaking, and we help with all of those three pillars as well. So it's really important that it's you want to protect this lean one-to-one model that you're starting to build or scale with team coaching. But as you also saw in that breakdown, the price point matters because we want ease of delivery. Carla has halved her delivery. She works way less than she ever has and makes more money. And so it's not just about being high ticket for the right reason, for any reason, or just charging an X amount of dollars or a package. We want to make it super easy for you to sell. We want to make it super easy for parents to join. And given you're protecting your finances, don't make it so hard for people to join your world. You saw just one example, and I'm mindful of that example because we did not talk about skill sets, experience, marketing, social proof. Your price points matter depending on what you have in the market. So Carla can actually charge those prices, and she certainly can increase at a later point. But I'm mindful of packaging and pricing your services is not just about the price or what we deserve, what's my worth. It's a matter of you just making it super easy for your market to join you and being mindful of a low stress, low maintenance, ease of delivery model. That's once again how we play anyway. But one example that I did share was $125 a week. And so I want to share with you like, if you don't have at least $125 a week to invest in yourself or the willingness to get resourceful, then I would not want you to expect that from your parent buyers because that's incongruent. Now, our world can range, there's multiple levels inside TCA, but just think about it for a moment, hypothetically, that if you were to invest $125 a week, whether that's with us or someone else, can you actually make that work? Because if you cannot, well, then I wouldn't demand those prices from your parent buyers. Maybe start lower because you cannot expect something from someone that you're not willing to invest in yourself. Now, Carla has invested well beyond that with not only us, but with other coaches. She's spent on herself. She continues to invest in herself. Asking for $125 a week is incredibly cheap in our mindset. So you got to work on that and manage your expectations moving forward when you're expecting your parent buyers to drop money inside your team coaching program. But so we just start to entertain that. You can start for as little as $100 a week in our world. We have options around that. But once again, you need to manage your own expectations around your own money stories and what that would actually look like for you. I also spoke about the 5-year breakdown. Very realistically, Carla, just like you and I, if you were a teacher or you went to college to study for a degree, we waited 4 years before we even made a revenue, made an income in that particular job that we were studying for. You won't need to wait 4 years with team coaching, but you certainly need to wait and be realistic with what it takes to actually build a sustainable six-figure revenue with team coaching. Because for the most of you, you will not make that in year one. You probably won't make that in year two. And there's a good chance you might need to wait a third year or fourth for that to really, really happen and kick in. And that's the slow burn. That's the reality. Some of you can get there faster depending on the season you're in. But once again, what we haven't spoken about today is your skill sets. Being good as a coach in a one-to-one capacity matters. And most people just want to make money and they neglect their skill sets and they can't keep their clients with them for longer because they suck at coaching. And so don't worry, that's something we can help with anyway. We teach you on how to coach teenagers and parents. The second thing we didn't talk about is your marketing and your social proof. Without reviews, without testimonials, without proven case studies that you can get results for parents and teens, it's going to be hard for you to charge $125 give or take per week for parents. It's doable and you can achieve that, but without social proof, you're kidding yourself. And so once again, that's why we want to prioritize not only pro bonos for reviews, but it is also a marketing campaign for you to re-sign them, which you heard me talk about with Carla. She still uses that campaign. We're just refining it and getting clearer and cleaner with delivery. Because pro bono is not just free coaching, it's going to lead to your next sales cycle when you follow our lead on that. Another part of that too is your sales skill sets, the level of coachability, the level of hunger that your clients come with. There's so many factors here, including your own emotional journey. But importantly, the biggest takeaway from this as well is your capacity. So many teen coaches come to me and they say, Lanita, I want to make 10K a month. I want to make $20,000 a month. And then I ask them, how much capacity do you have for clients per week? And they tell me like almost none. I don't have the energy. I don't have the capacity. I kind of don't even want that many clients. And then I have to ask them, well, team, you're coming to me, you're telling me you want to make X amount of dollars, but you don't have the capacity to even hold these clients. Manage your expectations. Now, that doesn't mean you can't still make a six-figure revenue by working less. We also need to factor in the season you're in, emotionally and professionally. Carla can take more on now because she has now left her teaching job. When she first came to me, her load was different because she was managing an assistant principal workload. And I know for a lot of teachers in the room or a lot of full-time staff, especially if you're in the corporate space, you know when you're managing a full-time job, you also need to manage your expectations around building a full-time coaching business. And so I don't know what your capacity is just yet. We need to be mindful of that. So just because I shared Carla's example today doesn't necessarily mean that's going to work for you, because all of my work inside TCA with my one-to-one clients is so custom, because we factor in your capacity, we factor in your emotional journey, we factor in your resistance around money and sales, we factor in your coaching skill sets, and we factor in your marketing, business, social proof online. Are you on social media? Yes or not yet? Do you have case studies? Yes or not yet? That's going to take a lot of time for us to actually work through. And that's the unsexy thing that a lot of coaches just don't want to talk about online. They just want to promise you the 6 and 7 figures, when in reality, a lot of you are far from that and you just need time. So I just want to go very quickly before we leave for today, is to go through the 5 year realistic breakdown of a six-figure revenue with team coaching. I like to stay conservative. This is just simply a guideline, but I'm just going to assume that you're just starting from scratch. And if you're a veteran in the space, then it may take you less time. Okay, so as I spoke with Carla today, year one inside teen coaching, you can make anywhere between, this is industry average. I've been doing this for a decade now. I've witnessed and trained a lot of hundreds of teen coaches. You can make anywhere between $0 to $25,000 in the first year of teen coaching. Assuming you haven't coached before, you need work building your business from scratch, etc. You don't have social proof, that is what to expect realistically, give or take. Once again, this is a guideline. The second year, you're dancing anywhere between $25,000 to $50,000. Once again, why do I know this? Is because I interview my teen coaches. I ask them about their revenues before they even come and work with me. What did you make in the first year of your business? What did you make in the second? Because we have coaches who have found me after working with another business coach. And thankfully enough, for most of them, they've recorded their revenue and they share that with me. And most of them play in these brackets. Year two, you could be making anywhere between 25K to 50K. Year three, this is where it gets interesting. You get better at your craft. Your clients stay with you for longer. You might increase your prices a little bit. So then you're entertaining the $50,000 to $75,000 lane. But worst case scenario as well, I like to stay conservative here, that if you just stay at a halt, you sustain this, you can be sustaining $50,000 a year with teen coaching as an additional revenue on top of your existing job. Most of you that want to keep your jobs, you're now surpassing a six-figure revenue because you're using teen coaching as a solo gig. So a lot of you don't even have to exit your jobs. You're looking for an additional impact and income with teen coaching. Now, those that are looking to really exit and go full time, well, year four, this is where it gets interesting. You will start to actually scale that. And I'm still talking about one-to-one coaching here. I'm not talking about speaking or groups right now. This is one-to-one lean teen coaching. And then year five, that's where it starts to get juicy and even more interesting. You make $100,000 plus at that point, and the sky's the limit. You get better at what you do. You have more social proof. You have higher profit margins that you can reinvest back into yourself, your health, and your business. And that's where you'll be able to scale your business even further. But once again, for people like Carla and I, and most of our teen coaches inside the academy, we stay in a one-to-one proximity model. When done correctly, you can sustain this over a longer period of time whilst protecting your lifestyle. What would this mean to you? Worst case scenario, you sustain $50,000 a year with team coaching, an extra income on top of everything else you're doing. For a lot of you that have dual incomes inside your households with either your husbands or your wives, you're now moving into a six-figure household or potentially a multiple six-figure household. And then as you start to stay patient, that's where it starts to kick in at year 4 and year 5. But this is where most coaches stop because they watch the six-figure case studies online. They look at the seven-figure coaches. Most of them are misleading anyway. And then they start to feel discouraged. Oh my gosh, I'm not a great coach. I suck at business. I'm not good at marketing. This niche is not for me. You make it all about yourself. You think you're the problem when in reality, this is the industry that we are in. This is the realistic breakdown. And so a lot of you don't even give yourself, honestly, sadly, a lot of you don't even give yourself a year in this career. And then most people they just drop off. They don't give themselves time when time is actually on your side. Time is on your side. And so I want to leave this on this perspective or breakdown, of which I spoke with Carla today. We wait 4 or 5 years before even graduating from a degree for a guaranteed income, which honestly is not even a guarantee because even if you graduate with a degree, maybe that's in teaching or accounting or wherever, what world you come from, counseling and education, there's no guaranteed job at the end of it. And that's what's really scary is that a lot of you have trusted colleges and universities and you've spent so much money and you were willing to wait 4 or 5 years before you even made any money. That's the crazy part. And don't worry, I did the same thing. And so all I'm asking from you here is to look at this 5 year breakdown. And in the first year of teen coaching, you could make potentially conservatively up to $25,000 in your first year. And worst case scenario, if you didn't and you only made $5,000, you're still well above industry average. That if you were to spend $125 a week on yourself or $100 a week or whatever that might look like, and that certainly is options in our world, and you made at least $5,000 back, I think that's a pretty good deal. And it's very safe in Teen Coach Academy because we don't want you to break the bank trying to build this. You're going to make so much more back, not just financially, but you're going to grow so much as a person. And you're going to get better as a teen coach and you're going to get great client results. So all I say is hang in there, team. This is the realistic breakdown. And Carla is in real-time example, just like all of our other teen coaches at the moment inside the academy. Most of my one-to-ones and all of the six-figure case studies that I've ever shared inside Teen Coach Academy, they were with me for at least 2 years before their revenue kicked in. I help a lot of veterans, I help a lot of coaches, and most of the time the work with me is refining and fixing broken models that they have, broken coaching models, and a lot of veterans that are entering business for the first time and making money for themselves outside of a teaching job or any other roles they have in corporate. And so when you're coming into my world, please manage your expectations. Six figures could happen sooner, but just looking at all of my six-figure case studies and factoring in those factors, capacity, emotional journey, existing social proof, how good you are as a coach, how much you want to actually charge based on the delivery model. On average, you're looking at least 2 years before you really enter a consistent six-figure revenue gig with teen coaching. Now, these are simply guidelines. These are not rules. This is going to be heavily dependent on what you bring to the table in our world as well. But there's no surprise as to why I'm still a coach after a decade in the game is because I honor the slow burn. I really refine one-to-one skills and my clients stay with me anywhere between 2 and 3 years and beyond. And I have 5 year clients. for that exact reason. Because if when you're good as a coach and you repurpose that into your marketing, the sky is the limit. I'll leave this with you today. Imagine if teenagers stayed with you for 1 or 2 years, heck, even 5. Make that as a norm in your world. They're in school for 6+ years anyway. Why wouldn't they stay with you? Because a lot of you haven't made that a norm in your world just yet. Teen Coach Academy, a lot of my clients stay with me for a long time because I know that we need time. If you're looking for a quick fix, go somewhere else. I don't want to promise you something that's very misleading. You probably need at least 2 years before this really kicks in. And that's just something that I just need to be very honest with all of you. And don't be so discouraged when you're not making the six-figure revenue just yet, because the majority of coaches in this industry do not. You might be, you might be the rare case, and I welcome that. But don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself, and don't put unnecessary pressure on me either, because this is the industry we're playing in. Sounds amazing. I'd love to know what you found most valuable from this video. The 5 year breakdown, the 5 year plan, the realistic breakdown as well, the pricing models as well too. You start where you feel most comfortable. It's less about how much you want to charge and more about what's actually easy for you to sell right now. Make it easy. It's easy for me to sell because I make it such a no-brainer and it's safe. And my delivery, low stress. I don't have to worry too much. And so I'm not the most expensive in the market. Paying for the most expensive coach doesn't mean you're getting the best anymore because pricing is well beyond just how much am I worth or how much I want to be perceived online. Awesome. So if you have any questions around this, I'd love to hear what you found most valuable. As I mentioned, our worlds can range. And if you're even entertaining this model and how you want something similar to Carla, I must be very honest with you. If you're not willing to drop at least $100 to $125 a week for your own self, whether that's with us or someone else, please don't expect that from the parent buyers you're trying to attract because congruency is everything. Walk the talk, spend it on yourself first, and you'll have so much more authority and confidence to even demand that from your buyers as well. You want to become a high ticket buyer? Become a high ticket buyer yourself first. I'm Lanita Butcherbake. Thank you again for checking in, and I will talk to you guys very soon.